Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat, Pastora Mark po. Kumusta po tayong lahat? Ilang araw na po mula nang tayo ay makaranas ng enhanced community quarantine na kung saan ang lahat po ay ini-encourage at inaasahan na manatili lamang po sa loob ng tahanan. Tayo ay lalabas lamang kung tayo kukuha ng supply ng pagkain o kaya po ay gamot. No? At isang miyembro lamang ng pamilya ang kadalasan po na pinapayagan na lumalabas. Sa ganito pong sitwasyon, samot-sari ang mga emosyon na ating pong nararamdaman. Ano po, karamihan po ay yung pong anxiety o yung pong tinatawag po na pag-aalala, takot, kawalang katiyakan, at para doon po sa karamihan sa loob po ng ilang araw ay boredom na po yung nararanasan. Kahit sa isang introvert na kagaya ko ay sa loob ng ilang araw na pamamalagi minsan ay nakakaramdam din, diba? Doon sa sabi nga ng mga millennials, boring, diba? At lalo na siguro yung mga extrovert dyan na hindi talaga mapakali sa loob lamang po ng tahanan. Subalit sa kabila po ng lahat ng ito ay sa halip na tayo po ay makaramdam ng despair o kawalan po ng pag-asa, I think we should look up to God as the source of our hope. No? As we look upon doon sa promises po ng Diyos sa buhay po natin in times of crisis like this, we will have hope instead of despair. Ngayong pong araw na ito ay akin pong nais ibahagi sa inyo ang mga talata po na matatagpuan, katulad po ng aking sinabi nung nakaraan, in the Book of Lamentation, chapter 3, verse 22 to 26. O sa Tagalog po ay ang aklat po ng Panaghoy, kabanata po 3, mga talata pong 22 hanggang 26. Bago po ako magpatuloy ay nais ko pong bigyan kayo ng little bit of the situation o the background ng aklat po ng Lamentation o Panaghoy. Siguro napansin po natin na sa title pa lamang ay hindi na maganda yung konteksto po nito o yung sitwasyon kasi Panaghoy, ano po, Lamentation. Ang aklat pong ito ay karamihan po ng mga, although it is parang mayroong arguments regarding the author, but a lot of scholars attribute the book to Jeremiah na siya pong sumulat nito. Ganun pa man, ay tignan po natin yung kasalukuyang going back to their time, kasalukuyang nangyayari sa panahon po nila nang ito po ay isinulat. The book of 2 Kings and 2 Chronicles po describe the moral decline of Judah. In spite doon sa paulit-ulit na warning ng mga propeta, patuloy po silang nagdi-disobey sa Diyos, and so this disobedient ay that will lead to defeat and captivity po, no, yung pagsakop sa kanila ng mga taga Babylonia. So the Book of Lamentation po describes the result of Babylon's destructions over Jerusalem. This was in 587 BC. Si Nebuchadnezzar po of Babylon at ang kanya pong mga opisyal ay destroyed most of the Jerusalem. Winasak po nila ang karamihan po sa Jerusalem. They burned the temple, sinunog po nila mismo yung templo, at dinala po nila lahat ng mahihirap. No? They carried all the poorest people in the exile, and you can see that in 2 Kings chapter 25 in verse 4 of that book. And the book has a flavor of a personal experience po nung sumulat as an eyewitness doon sa mga particular na karanasan sa mga panahon nito, and most of these experiences are descriptions of death and starvation. No? Ito po ay nagpapakita ng mga karanasan na kung saan napakarami pong mga namamatay at napakarami pong nagugutom. Sounds familiar po ba sa atin pong kasalukuyang panahon? Hindi man tayo, it is not a literal war, no, political war, but it's a war against COVID-19 na sa kasalukuyan ay napakarami na rin pong mga namamatay at napakaraming mga nag-aalala with enhanced quarantine na meron po tayo ngayon ay hindi man po mamatay sabi nga nila hindi man mamatay sa COVID-19 ay mukhang nag-aalala pong mamatay naman sa gutom dahil ang lahat ay, we are being disrupted with our normal routine na nagtatrabaho at yun nga pong mga arawan na umaasa sa kanilang arawan na kita, ito ang kanilang pinag-aalala, starvation, no? Maligtas man sa COVID, sabi nga nila, baka naman po yung gutom ang pumatay sa lahat. But in the midst of this, no, sa sitwasyon pong ito, doon po sa Book of Lamentation, mga kapatid, the key passage of Lamentation is found in chapter 3, verse 19 po to 24, if you are going to read that passage, where the speaker actually affirm, no, doon po sa belief, doon sa paniniwala, doon sa habag ng Diyos, it's belief on God's mercy and the faithfulness of God as the key, no, to restored relationship with God during this time. Sa mga taga-Juda, hope and not despair. This is something that is so wonderful sa aklat po ng Lamentation. Although the book itself entitled Lamentation, Pananagoy, which means, it gives already the sense that, sabi ko nga po kanina, the situation is not really good. And we can, at this point of our lives, at this point where we are with COVID-19, ay makaka-identify po tayo dito. No? But at the end of the Lamentation, it is hope and not despair is the final word. Ito po yung mga huling pananalita, hope and not despair, as the final word in the Book of Lamentation. The question now during this time, as we look at chapter 3, verse 22 to 26, we can examine some principles, we can get insights from this, paano ba natin haharapin yung sitwasyon na meron po tayo that, apparently, parang may kaugnayan, hindi man exactly the same situation, but we are also in the time of crisis, mga kapatid. So, what to do during this time of lament or crisis na hinaharap po natin sa COVID-19? It says first, gusto pong basahin, it says in verse 19 to 24 of the book of Lamentation here, sabi po dito, ay verse 19 to 24, I remember my affliction and my wandering, the bitterness and the gall. I will remember them. My soul is downcast within me, yet this I call to mind, and therefore I have hope. Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for His compassion never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. I say to myself, the Lord is my portion, therefore I will wait for Him. First, una po ay what to do during this time of lament or crisis with the COVID-19 na hinaharap po natin. Going back to the Book of Lamentation at yung sitwasyon po na nabanggit kanina na napakahirap, sinakop sila ng Babylonia, Nebuchadnezzar destroyed the temple already, and yung mga karamihan na mahirap sa kanila po ay dinala po doon sa Babylonia at ginawa pong alipin doon. So this is somehow a very difficult situation to them. But then, even Jeremiah himself, maging si Jeremias po ay bilang isang tao, bagamat siya ay isang propeta, bilang isang tao, siya man din po ay nakaranas na parang, you come to a point where somehow sometimes you're losing your hope. But then again, saan po nakatagpo ng iba yung pag-asa si Jeremiah? Of course, sa pangako pa rin po ng Panginoon. Doon sa kanya pa rin kabutihan kung sino siya bilang Diyos, no? So first, it is to acknowledge God's faithfulness. Kilalanin po natin sa ganitong pagkakataon yung katapatan po ng Diyos, no? Sa ating pong mga buhay. Si Jeremiah po ang naging susi, no, nung pagbalik ng kanyang hope, ng kanyang pong pag-asa, because he almost had given up his hope, but he remembers something that will restore his hope again. Alala niya yung isang bagay na makakapagpabalik po noong kanya pong pag-asa. And this was the mercy of God. Ito po yung habag ng Diyos. In the Hebrew word, it is hesed. No? Yung Hesed po can be translated as a covenant love of God. No? Ito yung tipan ng pag-ibig ng Diyos sa kanila. And it is also the steadfast love of God, yung hindi nagmamaliw na pag-ibig ng Diyos. When you say steadfast, hindi yan nagbabago kahit ano ba yung panahon, mabuti man yung panahon, masama man yung panahon, masaya ka man, malungkot ka man, may pinagdadaanan ka man o wala, ano man yung sitwasyon mo. That means the steadfast love of God, the unchanging love of God will always be there. Ito pong covenantal love and steadfast love na to, itong hesed na to, it is always linked with God's compassion. Ito po ay palagi pong kaagapay po nito, kasama po nito yung pong biyaya, yung pong compassion, kahabagan, no, ng Diyos sa kanya pong bayan. As we read that in Psalms 103 verse 4, and not only compassion, the steadfast love of God is also linked with truth and faithfulness, no? As in Exodus chapter 34 verse 6, and the goodness of God in Psalms 23 verse 6. No? Ang sabi po doon, and surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. All the days of my life. Alam niyo, yung all the days of our lives, hindi naman laging masaya yan. Hindi laging victorious. There are days that we are disappointed. There are days that we experience anxiety like now. There are days that your soul is downcast. There are days na, you're not sufficient. Hindi sapat kung ano yung meron ka. Yung lakas mo, hindi sapat. And yet, that will not change the fact that the Lord's goodness is still there. It will follow you all the days of your life. Yun po yung sabi ng salita po ng Diyos na kailangan nating balikan, kailangan nating panghawakan sa mga sitwasyon pong ito na napakahirap. During their time, because the temple was destroyed already, the ability to offer sacrifices to the temple is gone. And everything just seems so hopeless. But in spite of all of this, God's hesed remained. Dahil nasunog po yung templo sa Jerusalem, di na rin po sila nakakapunta upang sumamba, upang mag-alay. Sounds familiar again. Because of the enhanced quarantine, including all religious gatherings and activities are also strongly encouraged na itigil po muna. We don't go to our church building, but hindi po ito nangangahulugan hihinto po tayo sa ating pagsamba. Hindi po ito nangangahulugan na hihinto po tayo sa ating pananalangin. Hindi po ito nangangahulugan na hihinto po tayo sa pag-aaral at pagbabasa ng salita ng Diyos. Because God's hesed remain. Ang biyaya po ng Diyos, ang kabutihan po ng Diyos ay mananatili kahit po sa ganitong sitwasyon. So we find ways. Parang video lang yan. I'm not promoting, it's just, they say they find ways. So we find ways, mga kapatid. Buhay po ang Diyos, at hanggat buhay ang Diyos, meron po tayong pag-asa. God's faithfulness will never ceases. And that faithfulness does not depend on our faithfulness. You see, in other words po, even in the face of Judas' unfaithfulness, kahit na po sa gitna ng kawalang katapatan ng mga taga-Huda, na natili pong tapat ang Diyos sa kanila. Ito pong sitwasyon natin sa gitna ng sometimes we're not being so faithful to God. Sometimes napaka-busy natin at si Lord sa gitna ng ating kabisihan nagiging huli na lang palagi. Pero nakakatuwa lang na yung katapatan po ng Diyos ay hindi po nakadepende sa katapatan na He will remain faithful. His love will never cease. Kahit na yung pag-ibig natin ay minsan ay nanlalamig po sa Panginoon. You know, this song, in fact, this is one of the classic song na lagi po nating inaawit, which is of course found in this verses, di ba? Sabi po dun sa awit ay, the steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. They are new every morning. Ang kadakilang pag-ibig ng Diyos ay hindi magbabago po. Ito'y laging sariwa sa bawat umaga. New every morning. Each day present another opportunity to experience God's grace and faithfulness. Ang bawat araw po ay pagkakataon, oportunidad na maranasan po natin yung biyaya at katapatan po ng Diyos. Yung covenantal fidelity, no? Napakaganda nito pag sinabing covenantal fidelity, yung katapatan ng Diyos po sa atin at yung kanyang personal integrity na remained intact no matter what happened. Kaya hindi po natin alam kung gaano katagal ito pong enhanced home quarantine, community quarantine po na ito. Hindi po natin alam kung hanggang kailan po tayo sa loob ng ating tahanan at kung kailan po babalik ang lahat sa normal. But one thing is sure, every time nagigising po tayo sa umaga, meron tayong buhay, meron tayong lakas, we're healthy. Every day is an opportunity to experience God's hesed. Yung biyaya ng Diyos, yung katapatan po ng Panginoon. Every day, when we wake up in the morning, we should thank the Lord. And we should hope that this day is a better day. Every time po na gigising ako sa umaga, it's day in the morning that when I wake up in the morning, pag gigising po ako, sabi ko, Lord, just before bumangon po sa bed, I just pray to the Lord that, Lord, thank you, this is a better day. You need to have that kind of faith. We need to have that kind of faith. We need to trust God in the midst of uncertainty, that every day when we wake up, it's another day of opportunity. It's a better day, better than yesterday, as we're looking forward doon sa gagawin po ng Panginoon. So for one, how do we face this crisis that we have right now, in times of lament like this, and in times of difficult times like this? How do we face it? We face it as we acknowledge God's faithfulness. Every day, let's just acknowledge God's faithfulness, His loving mercy, His loving kindness, His said in our lives. And then, pangalawa po is to wait in hope. Wait in hope. That's in verse 24 and 26 of the lamentation. It says here that, to say to myself, the Lord is my portion, therefore I will wait for Him. The Lord is good to those whose hope is in Him, to the one who seek Him. It is good to wait quietly for the salvation of the Lord. I would like to repeat that. Sabi po dun sa verse 26, it is good to wait quietly for the salvation of the Lord. To wait is not a passive response to the situation. Pagka sinabi po na maghintay tayo, iba, hindi po ito yung parang upo ka, wala tayong gagawin kundi maghintay ng oras ng pagkain, matulog, kakain, ganun ulit, diba? Kung yung iba po ay panic buying, yung iba naman po ay panic eating ang ginagawa pagka po ganun. Well, the verse does not mean like that. To wait is to hope for God's intervention. Pag sinabi po sa atin ng Biblia, you have to wait upon the Lord. It's to have hope. To wait is to hope for God's intervention. Yung paghihintay po ay paghihintay na positibo. Ito po ay paghihintay na merong kang tinitignan, na merong gagawin ang Diyos, that God will do something, that God will intervene in this situation. The word wait, which is kaba in Hebrew, expresses the idea of waiting hopefully. Ito po ay nagpapahayag ng isang ideya, ng isang pananaw, ng isang kaisipan na yung paghihintay na punong-puno po ng pag-asa. Just like in Psalms 40 verse 1 that says, I waited patiently for the Lord. He inclined to me and heard my cry. Diba? Yung pananalangin ng paghihintay sa Panginoon, that as you wait upon the Lord, even though the situation, it seems like yung situation hindi na babago, walang nangyayari, that doesn't mean na walang ginagawa po si God, no? Even though it seems like everything is just so ordinary, it's just so natural, I do believe when we come to God, diba? When we pray, when we seek the Lord, God's already doing something kahit hindi pa obvious yun, kahit hindi pa nakikita with our two naked eye, hindi pa siya ganun ka-obvious, but with the eyes of faith, we believe that God is already doing something. In the book of Lamentation in Jeremiah po, the overwhelming tragedies resolved to wait for God. Jeremiah resolved to wait for God's salvation. He was willing to wait to see God's salvation. Kasi minsan, di ba, gustong-gusto natin na when we pray, Lord, alisin mo na po yung COVID. Taboy mo na po ito right now, as we're all hoping and expecting that one day, maybe tomorrow, maybe mamaya, maybe the other day, maybe 1 week lang. But we don't know. Only God knows. But one thing is sure, that in the midst of this overwhelming situation with the COVID-19, meron po tayo just like going back and looking back during the time of Jeremiah in the book of Lamentation. One thing is sure, God's salvation will come. When? We don't know. Only God knows. But during this time of waiting, during this time that we are all, waiting kung kailan po ito matatapos, what we have to do during the time of waiting is not just to sit down and do nothing, but to wait is also faithful serving until we see with our two naked eye the acts of God. Pag sinabi po na tayo po ay maghintay sa Panginoon, hindi po ibig sabihin titigil tayo sa paglilingkod sa Diyos. Hindi po ibig sabihin na nasa bahay lang tayo, wala po tayong magagawa. Meron po tayong magagawa. Marami po tayong magagawa. We can serve the Lord with our family. We can lead our family to the Lord during this time of togetherness, na I believe isa ito doon sa mga bagay na nais ng Diyos na gawin sa bawat tahanan sa mga panahon pong ito. We seek Him during this time of waiting. We seek Him, we desire to know Him, and do His will. That's what we do when we wait. We seek God quietly in a posture of prayer and expectation from all of this, expecting for God's deliverance from peril gawa po ng COVID na ito. As we wait, katulad po ng nasabi ko, ay nandun po dapat yung ating pong desiring to know God during this time. Diba? Ito po yung pagkakataon na napakarami po nating God stop us from our work. God stop us from too busy going here and there because, diba, stop lahat ng transportation, lockdown, etc. Sabi ko nga po nung nakaraan sa congregation, God is disrupting us for a purpose and for a reason. And we must understand that. God is disrupting the entire universe. This is globally because COVID-19 it's pandemic, right? So God is, it's like God is calling our attention perhaps during this time. So during the time of waiting, we seek God. We have a lot of time to meditate, to read the Word of God, to pray, to come to Him, not just individually, but as a family during this time. We desire to know Him. We understand we should learn, I think. God is teaching us something on this situation, and it's important for us to learn this lesson. Dapat siguro po mabilis natin itong maputunan para mabilis din po tayong maka-move on to the next level of this, diba? Kasi gano'n naman si Lord. Hanggat hindi po natin natututunan yung tinuturo ng Panginoon, we stuck where we are. So, I guess during this time, we desire to do His will. It's always my prayer that, sana gamitin ni Lord, that this is my heart's prayer po talaga na yung ito pong sitwasyon na to ng COVID is, I just pray really that this will bring revival to many souls, that this will bring revival to many believers, especially those who have been called in their spiritual life. I hope that this will humble us all to come to the Lord and, just seeking Him during this time and to wait patiently for His salvation, for His deliverance from COVID-19. Mga magulang, mga kapatid, before I end this sermon, muli po, during this difficult time as we all face this, huwag po tayong mawalan ng pananalig sa Panginoon. Because this is the time na mas kailangan po nating lumapit. Let us remember God's faithfulness. Huwag po tayong mawalan ng pag-asa. Dapat po ang Diyos na tumawag po sa atin. Siya po na nagsimula ng mabuting bagay sa atin. Diba? Sabi po ng salita ng Diyos, He who began a good work in us, He will be faithful to complete it. Hindi pa po tapos ang Diyos sa atin. May ginagawa pa po ang Panginoon. Umasa po tayo sa Kanya at huwag po tayong mawawalan ng pag-asa. Huwag po nating hayaan na ang anxiety, ang pag-aalala, ang takot ang lumamon sa ating pong puso't kaisipan. Yakapin po natin sa mga pagkakataong ito ang mga pangako po ng Diyos. Panghawakan po natin ito. Lumapit po tayo sa Kanya at matiyaga tayong maghintay sa Kanyang gagawin sa sitwasyon na ito. I'm sure the Lord is already doing something. Nakaka-excite kung ano po yung gagawin ng Panginoon. We will see that. We will be an eyewitness ng pagtugon po ng Panginoon sa sitwasyon po nating ito. But for the meantime, what shall we do during this time of crisis, of lament? As Jeremiah acknowledged the faithfulness of God, let us all acknowledge His faithfulness during this time. As Jeremiah resolved to wait patiently, to act, waiting patiently para po sa Diyos, ang Diyos po ay gumawa sa sitwasyon na ito. Sana po ganun din ang ating gawin. Let us wait patiently, to wait. As I've said, again, hindi po ito yung wala po tayong gagawin. Ano pong gagawin natin sa mga sitwasyong ito? To wait is to hope for God's intervention. To wait is to continually serve Him faithfully. To wait is during this time to seek Him more, to desire to know Him and do His will. To wait is always in the posture of prayer and expectation na may ginagawa na po ang Diyos sa ating pong sitwasyon. Maraming salamat po. I hope this message ay nagdala po sa atin ng iba yung kalakasan sa ating pong mga sitwasyon na meron po tayo ngayon. And I hope that this message naglift po ng ating soul. No? Na maaring yung iba po sa atin ay nilalamon na ng takot at pag-aalala. Ilagak po natin ang lahat ng ito sa Panginoon. God bless po sa ating lahat mga kapatid at ingatan nawa po tayo lagi ng Panginoon sa mga sitwasyon na ganito.